Men are the prize podcast. Your host Harvey is here. How are you? Good week, I hope. Great week I'm expecting for myself and for you. Another great guest. We're going to get right into it. You know what I say on the super quick. I'm a friend who likes to hear men talk. So that's what I am for you here. I'm just a friend who's trying to make it comfortable for you to talk and for you to hear men talk. So keep that in mind. Not a therapist. I'm not trained. I'm none of that stuff. I'm just the guy who's like, here, I'm a man talking and you can do it and it's okay. So keep that in mind. This should be comfortable. This shouldn't be strange. This should be typical for you, a man opening up. And with that said, I dug into the crates for this one. I found, a friend, a podcast homie. We talk music, movies, whatever a bracket needs to be spoken about. I bring to you Diandre Robinson. How you doing today, sir?
How you doing, man? Thank you for having me on. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, no, I'm glad. Thank you for coming on here. So the super quick, let's do the quick bio. This is from him. My name is Diandre Robinson, host of all the Mass Debaters podcasts. I am originally from Philadelphia, but live in the Portland, Oregon area. Simple. Two sentences, bang, bang, let's go. All right. So we're gonna get right to the point. We get right to it, bro. That's it.
We did, but listen, God, the truth. I was trying to write. Listen, I didn't know what to say. I hate talking about myself, so I didn't know what to say.
Right.
So it was just listen. I said something simple. All right, I'm good now. I'm good.
That's good. And you know what? I'm gonna kind of use that to talk about this. Most men don't like talking about themselves, but let me ask you something. Give me one or two positive attributes of yourself that you could think of right now?
All right, one, I try to work harder than most people, period. My coach told me at a young age that somebody's always working harder than you, and I hated that. I want nobody work harder than me. Listen, so I try to work harder than most people, period.
Okay.
And two, I am very giving. I will give the shirt off my back if I have to. I give, whatever, man. And my partner hates that about me too, but I do. I mean, I'm a very, very giving person. I will, like, literally, man. We got a mutual friend that I literally just gave a fire stick to help him out with certain things for free. I didn't charge him anything for it. It's like, man, you need it, and if I can do it, it's yours.
That's what's up.
So, yeah.
That's good. I mean, and obviously great attributes. And those attributes are kind of things that describe a lot of men. We're raised to take care of people. We're raised to be providers. So in a way, we're raised to do what we need to do. We need to work to do it. And typically, you got to work hard to do it. So in essence, you are what most men are. And that's always a good start to this. But let's get into the questioning here. If you've never listened to this podcast, welcome. Thank you for giving me your time. Prize is my word. It's my favorite word. It's what I use for this podcast. I take that word, break down the letters, and 4 of the letters represent characteristics that I think represent what a good man can be. First letter in the word prize is P. The word is purpose. Purpose is defined as reason for which something is done or created or for which something exists. So, Diandre, what is your purpose?
Well, I'm actually glad that I get to say this after childbirth, after my first kid, because before her, my purpose was literally just to be the best Diandre as possible. Right. And that was way before her. It was me taking care of me and taking care of whatever I try to do, take care of whoever I love. And like, however, my purpose in life is to make sure that my daughter, my one and only daughter, and my family too, because I gotta stop saying my daughter too, because my girlfriend Emily has a son, and I love him as well. So my purpose in life is to make sure my family is good until I die. Well, and even after I die. Okay. That is my purpose in life, to make sure that my family is good until they can't be good anymore. Until the water runs dry in that well, I'm going to make sure that my family is 100% good. That's my purpose in life.
Okay.
Everything I do. I'm sorry.
That's cool. What does that mean? That your family is good?
Oh, I mean, good. I mean, that we have to want for shit. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
You good,
We
bro.
don't
This is
have.
an
Yeah,
adult
listen.
podcast.
Yeah,
I
we don't
know.
have
Go
to.
ahead, brother.
Yeah, we don't have to want for shit. So growing up in Philly, we was poor with my mom. Was in foster care. We wanted for shit. We wanted. We wanted a lot of everything. I mean, even the most simple thing, we wanted our mom.
Right.
I want to make sure that my family don't want for shit. My daughter knows that I'm right here. She sees me almost every single day, because she do live 2 hours away from me. And luckily, my job, I work remotely, so I can work from anywhere. But she sees me almost every day. She knows who daddy is. My stepson knows who I'm going to be here no matter what. Emily knows that I'm going to be here no matter what. So the belonging is there. Not really fun. I want to say financially, but the things that we need is there. I'm buying my condo, which is great. I'm buying another car, hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow. We can eat. When we were younger, mom used to borrow food from people. We used to go to Salvation Armies and churches and all that kind of stuff, just so we can eat. But food is stocked. I mean, I'm not bragging, but food is stocked. I mean, and if we want to, again, when I was younger, there was no going out to eat.
Right.
I mean, if there was a Grubhub or DoorDash when I was younger, we didn't hear about it. So, so we can go out to eat, and we have clothes on our back. We get to go on trips. We literally, as soon as Sasha popped out, nothing like that, but as soon as Sasha popped out, we literally, about a week or two after when Sasha was born, we literally drove. Well, I live in Oregon, but we literally drove to California, then Arizona, then Vegas, and back up to Oregon, and we were good. So when I say my purpose is to make sure my family is good,
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that they have everything they need, and then try to make sure they can have everything they want as well. I might not be able to get everything they want, but I would definitely settle for everything they need.
Understood. I feel you. So let me ask a question. So growing up, you kind of described what growing up was like for you. I just want to ask you to consider this. If growing up, food and shelter and such were not a problem, which means you could eat, you always had food and you always had clothes on your back, based on the way your family was kind of set up, would that have been enough for you to be a happy child?
That's a hard question to ask, because one, it happened. I know and me being foster care, it took away from my mom, but I'm actually close to my mom, my biological mom now. Mm-hmm. And I told her I forgive her, and I thank her for everything that she tried to do, she didn't do, so forth, so on. So I know for what happened to me when I was younger, maybe the man I am now, I can't say hypothetically, so if we had everything, I'll still be the same man now. I could be a spoiled brat, actually, if you have everything. Right. I could be. I'm not saying that's how people are, but I could be a spoiled brat. I could be an asshole. I could be, Black Trump. I mean, right. We don't know. So I try, me personally, again, I mean, and I know it's just a hypothetical question. I try not to think about what if. A lot of people ask me, hey, if you can go 10 years back in the past and know everything, what would you do? I said, I wouldn't want to do it. Listen, what my past, pain, love, whatever happened in my past made me who I am today. And I feel like I am an okay guy. So I don't want to change not a damn thing.
Good. That's good. The reason I asked that question is this. What you described as your purpose now is to make sure that your family is good, which is every man's mission, is my wife, my kids, whoever is with me is taken care of. They're eating, their stomach is full, they're clothed, they got lights, whatever. What I wanted to get into is, aside from that, and that's kind of the superficial stuff. That's kind of the above water type of stuff. What do you do for the underlying stuff? And what I mean underlying is, how are you emotionally with your daughter, with your girlfriend in general? And to be honest, with yourself, your upbringing was hard. So she can eat. She's got all the food that she wants. Your girl's got all the food. She's got all that stuff, which is good. My question is, do they get full Diandre from you? So not from your wallet, but more, I don't, it sounds just cheesy. So from your heart, are they getting Diandre from this, from your heart?
So, 5 years ago, this happened pre-daughter, pre-Emily.
Mm-hmm.
No. Diandre was a woman. No, I don't want to say womanizer, but Diandre ran through women. Like 20s, Dre was horrible. I hate speaking himself in third person, but Dre was to women. He didn't physically hurt them. Right. Emotionally, he did though, and it took me a long time to figure out that you're an asshole. You need to slow down. So when I moved to Oregon, it's different. So again, I'm born and raised in Philadelphia, which is dominantly black. Every hood in Philly is black. Still some Latin, a couple poppy stores and a couple of Chinese stores, and that was it. I moved to Seaside, Oregon when I moved to Oregon. Seaside, Oregon, in the name, it's here. See, it's literally on the coast. It's a dominantly white. The only 3 black people two black people I saw myself that lived in Seaside was my friend Reese, who actually lives in Portland now with me. Not with me, but in Portland, in the city. Right. And a bartender who didn't date black guys. Because I thought I had an in. Like, she's black. Oh man, here you go. It was on me. And then she told me up front, I don't date black guys. So, okay, give me Corona. Okay. So, but it changed me though, because I started dating more white girls, because there's one we had out here, and Portland is dominantly white as well. A lot more culture, but dominantly white as well. So, and Emily's white. I would definitely say that Emily's white, but I love Emily, and Emily changed me. I don't have to do the shit that I did when I was younger. Emily gets my full heart. Everything, if Emily asks for emotionally, I'll give to Emily. I love Emily to death. Emily was my first friend. Actually, Emily, so I met Emily, I came out to Seaside because I got headhunted by a nonprofit. The person that sat in the desk next to me, Emily. And she was the first friend I had. And that's what started everything. So, and then with my daughter, I grew up without a pop as well. And I always told myself that if I get a kid, I would never, ever, ever let my kid grow up without their father, ever. And I said it before. I said it on my podcast a couple weeks ago that you're the biggest piece of shit if you don't take care of your kids, hands down. And that's how I feel. And the one thing that I will say that my pop taught me without being there is that I have to be there for my kid. I have to. So to answer your question, it even hurt Emily's son. Emily's son gets everything because I want him to grow up. Knowing that there is a person out there that cares for him, because his pop not there at all. And so we are in this together. I'm learning this together, and you learning how to have a pop figure together. So we do this together. So they get everything emotionally, because Ghana truth. So I told you that Emily lives 2 hours away from me. I live in the Portland area. She still lives in Seaside, and she's moving down here after I bought a condo.
Right.
And And I actually literally God's truth every single week after I run my second, because I run poker games as well. After running my poker game, I drove up 2 hours every single week to Seaside and stay with them. So they get everything emotionally for me. So the answer question, yes, they get everything emotionally.
That's excellent. That's excellent. What's good about that is that it's a conscious effort on your part to be there. One thing I'll tell you, if you've listened to a lot of episodes or if you haven't, a lot of times the men, when they kind of discover what their purpose is, they end up being what they needed growing up. A lot of times men, we gravitate to the thing we were missing when we were growing up. So addiction, people who help with addiction, social workers, people who in kind of in your situation, foster care, didn't have a parent around. So you, the literal man that you are, is the man that you kind of wanted, needed when you're growing up, a man to be there to take care of you. So I applaud you with that, because there's a lot of us. There's this idea that there isn't, but especially Black men. We are here, we are raising our kids, we're doing good work. So while I applaud you, I don't applaud you because you're supposed to be doing it. Like, I'm not going to give you a prize for doing what you're supposed to, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a compliment, but it's expected. So I'm kind of on the, on the lean with that.
Oh no, I trust me, I understand. Listen, I really, if someone said, "Hey, I'll give you $1 million for being a father," I don't want. Well, don't get me wrong, I'm taking $1 million. But however, though, right, however though, I don't want a prize for being a good father. This is what I'm supposed to do.
Exactly.
My daughter is what I'm. My daughter, I'm supposed to be a good father, the best father I can be to my daughter. I'm supposed to, and even with her son is Ricky. Even with Ricky, I'm almost supposed to be, but I'm going to be the best father so I can for Ricky. I don't want a prize for that. However, though, anybody listening to this, $1 million goes a long way. Just letting everybody know.
Please send your checks to Diandre. But I appreciate that. I agree with you entirely. The next letter in the word P.R.I.Z.E is R. The word is resilience, the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties and toughness. So when I ask purpose, we kind of roll into resilience because, like I said, your upbringing usually kind of denotes what your purpose is going to be. But I want you to take a second and consider this. Give me a situation, something that happened in your life, and you may have already answered that. Something that happened in your life where you found out that you had resilience that you didn't know about.
I can give you a current one.
Okay.
Again, like I said, I live in Portland area, and I'm a poker player as well.
Okay.
So when I went to this poker game, again, a lot of my poker friends are white. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
We went to this poker hall or this poker room, and a friend of mine is a regular there, so he get to control a lot of things. So he wanted to find a baseball game on TV, but he couldn't find one. So for some reason, he put on Jingle and Jing. I don't know why. He said he thought it was a good movie. I didn't really care at the time because I was busting the ass. I was making money. I could care less. However, there was some random guy, while I'm talking to a friend, some random guy said, "This is my favorite part of the movie." And the part we were talking about was the two slaves fighting and killing each other. He said that to me. Now, mind you, I'm the only Black guy there.
Mm-hmm.
And it rubbed me the fucking wrong way. Resilience to me is doing something or not doing something that you could normally do. Because normally I would have whooped his ass. But for some reason I took it on the chin, and don't get me wrong, that shit hurt too.
Mm-hmm.
I took it on the chin and that shit hurt, and I should have just upped and left.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't because because of one of my friends and shit. And that always, and every time I think about that shit, I always get mad and sad at myself about that. But the resilience part is not doing what not being a Philly Dre, if that counts, if that says anything. And not snapping, because this is the dumb, like, I want to say not rednecky, part of town, but like MAGA hats in part of town.
Okay.
So it took a lot, and also, and I could talk about me being in foster care. I could talk about hurting my knee in football, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, just what happened just now, maybe a couple weeks ago. That I think I showed. People tell me as well. I show a lot of resilience as well because people know me. people know who I was when I was younger. So that is one of the things.
Okay. Would the Diandre of 5 years ago who was running through the ladies, would he have beat that ass?
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, so DeAndre 4 years ago probably did this as well.
Right.
DeAndre 4 years ago was at Joy Floyd marches in Portland. If people don't actually know, those marches lasted the protests lasted 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
I was there for 3 of those protests. I actually still have marks on my arm from the rubber bullets. I still remember how it felt to get pepper spray in the eyes. Luckily, that a lot of protesters, they had volunteer nurses with molasses and all that to put in your eyes so it would stop burning. But that shit hurt. And I felt kind of bad too because my ex-girlfriend was there with me, and she got a lot of that as well. But I was there. I was there, and 3 years ago, Dre would have fucked him up as well. How I feel though, subconsciously, is because she's here, because my daughter's here, subconsciously. And I felt like if I did anything, I don't want to listen. I don't want to be a stereotype. I want her to be a stereotype or a statistic or a stat saying that, hey, well, your dad's in jail. Or, hey, your dad's not here. Mm-hmm. Again, and they go back to the P, is the fact that I need to be here for the long run for her. So I think subconsciously it was for her. Because a God honest truth, if she's not here, I think I go off. I think I go off. I think things happen. Okay. So, yeah.
I hear you. I hear you what you're saying, but I want you to, and I hope this conversation is something that you think about after we're done. I want you to consider what you're saying. You are this man, this person who's going to take care of your daughter, and you vow to be that man. I don't want to diminish the relationship you have with your child. I've got 4 of them, so I'm about these kids. But I want you to keep in mind, and I want you to believe that even if you didn't have your daughter, that you would be better, that you would have growth, that you wouldn't beat that ass now, that you would have grown, not because you had a child, but because you stopped being one. So I want you to keep that in mind. Be proud of being a good man for your daughter, but be proud that you're a good man because of you. Don't forget you're part of this too.
Yeah, I understand that, and you're right though, because I mean I've matured so much and over the years, so I do understand that. I do understand that, and I definitely will think about that more.
Definitely, growth is important. That's it. We never stop growing. We never stop getting better. And there's nothing. And I said this to somebody else in a podcast, and I thought it was interesting. And we'll get into it in a little while, that a good friend will tell you the kind of person that you are, but your children will show you the kind of person that you are. And what you'll see that later on as your daughter grows, the way your child responds to life, she learns that from you and mom. The way she handles conflict, she's learning that from you and mom. The way she deals with other people, is she nice? Is she giving? Will she work hard? All of these things that you will see in your child, she gets that from you. So being a good person is a great thing to do, but being a good person will just extend to your child. And that's always a good thing. And there's no doubt in my mind that you're going to be a fantastic parent. Your daughter, especially when we're dads of girls, and I got 3. It is so important that we are here because we know, and I can say to you that the Diandre from a few years ago is not the guy that you want your daughter to meet in 20 years.
Oh, you're 100% right.
Right?
You're 100%
You know what I
right.
mean?
Listen,
That kind of guy. Right.
I told Emily that the universe gave me is to give us her name Sasha. The universe gave us Sasha. Not, I said punish, but
No, it's karma. No.
but to teach. And normally I always say punish, but it's normally is teach, to teach me how to be a better person to women as a whole, and girls as a whole, and teach me how that, you know, the old Dre is not the best Dre. And she will know that. And I'm not gonna lie to you, as soon as she grows up and to understand, I would tell her that, yo, I wasn't the best in my heyday. Just so she knows that daddy had flaws. Because I know for a fact that daughters think that the daddy is the perfect guy. I mean, that's psychology 101.
Right.
However, psychology 101. But however, though, I want her to make sure that, yo, listen, all men has flaws. Everybody has flaws, including you. Your poop stinks. So that's flawed there. So yeah. So I want to know that daddy had flaws too, but daddy made sure that he was the best person that he could be for you.
Excellent. That's good. That's good. I always, because I'll tell you, my 20s was probably the same. I had my share of, of situationships, I guess that's the term. I messed around a bit. And of course, because of the guy, that I was back then, I get 3 daughters. That's what happens. And I don't think I was disrespectful, whatever, but now you get girls. And it's always eye-opening because we know what some men can be like. So we raise our girls and prepare them for the men that they're going to see. So it's obvious that you're going to be great for your child. I skipped the I in the word prize. The next letter is Z. The word is zeal. Zeal is defined as enthusiastic devotion. What are you enthusiastically devoted to?
So devout means like will, basically, so I'm paraphrasing devout, but devout is basically will keep doing without question, love, whatever. And I am, well, for lack of better words, from my family, and we talk about my family, right? So I'm not gonna keep going to that. I actually love podcasting. Now, again, we talk about this as well. And I'm gonna be honest, the last podcast you and I were on wasn't outside of Breaking, we was on Breaking after that. But
right,
the one we tried to do for the brackets for my podcast wasn't the best shit ever. It was horrible, and it messed with my mind a little bit mentally because I was ready to quit. God honest truth, I was ready to quit. And I don't want to quit. I'm not a quitter at all. And it took some people actually that know me and that could see my face live to talk to me and make sure that I remember who I am. And I love that. So thank you to if they ever hear this or see this. I love it. Thank you. So I love podcasting. I love my family. I love poker. I am a really borderline okay poker player. I have a national championship under my belt, 2017 National Bounty Champion Poker, the WLPC. I am ranked 8th all time in Mad Poker history, and it's only 5 years. So I love poker. Listen, literally, you can ask anybody that you can ask Emily now, or ask anybody that dated me for the last 5 years. I go to sleep to poker. YouTube poker snore. That's what it is. And I even got Sasha into it. So I put poker on right now, and she will look at it. I don't think she always understands what it is, but she'll definitely look at it.
Okay.
I'm a big, as you know, I'm a big wrestling fan.
Right.
I love wrestling. My second podcast is about wrestling. I'm actually going to Raw in a couple weeks when it comes to Portland.
That's what's up. Oh, cool.
Yeah. I'm taking Emily and I'm taking Ricky, her son, for his birthday. He never been before.
It's gonna be his first show. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
My first wrestling show was actually a Raw in Philly as well, and it was the main event was Stone Cold versus Mr. McMahon.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Your first show?
That was my first live show. I mean, and don't get me wrong too. I think I went to 2 ECW shows as well. But
yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Did you go to ECW Arena live?
No, not twice.
Okay.
But Philly. I mean, not to go off topic, but Philly is rough. If you go to a live game, period, you will either see the game, no matter what sport it is, and then see another fight in the stands, or be a part of the fight in the stands. and that's what ECW was. Literally, God, true. It was just hardcore wrestling, which I love, by the way. And then beer and blood flying from the audience because they fight each other. That's what it was. Both times we went. But I'm a big wrestling fan, good wrestling topic. And then I love helping people. My job right now, I'm the manager for the housing hotline for the community lands and tenants, which basically we make sure tenants in the Portland, or even Oregon, or whole Oregon state, make sure they know their rights as tenants. So no landlord will fuck you over, period. And before that, all my life, even after graduation from college, was nonprofits, foster care nonprofits, homeless nonprofits. So, yeah, that's a lot of my devout things I'm right now.
Okay, all right, I like that. I was hearing you. I went to one ECW show way back, and that's when some dude just went to a show and he took me and I went. And were you a big ECW fan, like you? All right. The one show, huge. The one, so if you're a fan, you will recognize this. The one show I went to was the night that Tommy Dreamer and what's her name? Kamana Wanalea and his wife, the one night that they went hardcore in the ring when he kissed both of them at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was at that show. ECW was crazy. I loved it, but I just happened to go at one of the best shows ever. It was awesome. Him, Beulah, that's right. Him, Beulah, and Kamana Wanalea. That's right. That I love, and I'm with you. I love wrestling too. My dream would be to be a booker. I'd love to be writing. If I could pick the job, it would be that. Give me, let me write for WWE and I'd be content. I'd be happy. Just pay me enough to pay the bills. I don't care about everything else, would be fine. I would love it. I would love it. But I like the fact that you have some stuff in there that are things for you. One thing with men that I have a lot of conversations with, a lot of men don't have things for them. We talked, and your mission is to take care of your family, to make sure they're okay. But a lot of times that gets in the way of taking care of yourself. It sounds like poker is something that is for you, something that you can enjoy on your own. And obviously there's some money involved, but it's something that you like. And it's important that you have something that's just for you, so that the rest of the stuff in life doesn't tear you down. And it's good that you've got that.
Yeah, Emily knows for a fact that and she would love me for me to spend 24/7 with them. However, I'll go fucking crazy. To be honest, but poker, and other stuff too. Like I do read a lot. I'm a big nerd. Comic books is where is that? But poker is somewhere that one I won't get in trouble anywhere else. Poker is literally just. I mean, there are some women in poker, but not any woman that I would be doing it with, and she knows that. And I'm just talking about that. But poker is something that I don't. She doesn't mind me doing because one, it's free.
Okay.
It's a free league. And when I do play cash or do play cards, she knows where I'm at. She knows I'm safe. She knows everywhere. Emily's the only girl, literally only girl that in the smartphone era that always had my location. I never ever gave anyone my location ever, but since I'm in a different state. And I do what somebody I do want to protect myself, and I don't mind. And am I doing anything stupid? She has my location everywhere. So poker is the one thing that she doesn't mind me doing at all. It's not like I'm going to a strip club every day. Like that. So
that's good.
So, yeah.
That's good. Did you have anything for yourself, something that you could do to kind of, enjoy life as a child? Did you have a hobby, anything that you could do on your own as growing up?
You mean on my own without family, or just on my own period? Because
did you have something? Because just listening to the way life was for you, foster home and mom wasn't around, and then obviously didn't have dad. Did you have a hobby or something that you could do so that maybe for a little while your mind was off of maybe your status in life?
Yeah, sports.
Okay.
I was second team of conference being junior year of high school, and state champion basketball my junior year of high school. Playing sports middle school and high school took my mind off a lot. Until I tore my knee, didn't know survive for that. But then I did. So I went to a boarding school called Milton Hershey. It was for Hershey, PA. It is invented by the guy. It's made by the guy that invented Hershey bars. Milton Hershey. We had to do extra activities, which was actually a good thing. So when I did tear my knee my senior year, I still did a lot of things. I was in drama. I was in 2 plays. I was the devil in the passion play, which is fun, by the way. I was the Phantom of the Opera and Phantom of the Opera. I didn't sing because I can't sing. So Andrew Osborne just sung in the background for me. But I don't want to get like a fit. I don't want to get 50 thing. All I had to do was this.
Right.
I did rock climbing, and with the knee, it wasn't actually rock climbing. It was just actually hiking, but they called it rock climbing. I was in PCA. I was student home leader, stuff like that. So extracurricular activities as a young person actually really did help me out, and I thank Mo Hershey for that because they force you to do it. And a lot of people there, I don't think they would have done a lot of things if we didn't. It was forced us to do it, but I was playing sports anyway. Baseball is my first love. I played baseball since elementary school. And sports is always there. Sports and comic books was always there.
That's good. It's important, that as adult males that we have something, as parents, to have something for us. Because we don't always consider that. Like I said, you spend so much time taking care of everybody else that you can't forget yourself too. Otherwise, it just builds up. And that's when bad things happen. I'm glad you have something to keep you going. The last letter in the word prize is E, and the word is expectation. So I'm going to ask you, in 5 years, what is your daughter going to think of you? What do you expect her to think about daddy in 5 years?
Very hard question. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought it would be easier. Think about it now. I thought it was not. It's a hard ass question. In 5 years, first thing first, in 5 years, I want her to know that daddy's always there. I mean, I know she's only going to be 5 years old, but she knows that, listen, if anything happens, I can go to daddy, period. So in 5 years, I want that to happen. 5 years that she knows that me, daddy and mommy are together, daddy and mommy are happy. This is what a loving family looks like.
Mhm.
If I can go to mommy, then that's cool. If I can go to daddy, then that's cool. If I can go to brother who would be 13, that would be cool. So yeah. So my expectations for her, look in daddy's eyes, and daddy's always will be there. Period.
I asked that question because, in essence, I'm really asking you what you think of yourself and what you're going to be in 5 years. You're just espousing to your child what you expect her to see in you. So you're going to be there. You're going to be present. And there's a difference between, having a dad in the house versus having a dad present in the house. You could just be in the building, or you could be in your child's life. And obviously that's what you want Sasha to know, that not only are you're not just in the building, but you're there every day for school and for when she does well and when she doesn't do well and when she needs to learn something. You're going to be all the things that you didn't entirely get growing up. And that's important as a parent. So there's no doubt in my mind that your early life, your early shenanigans have been put aside. And now you are at a higher purpose, at a higher place, because now you have a child and a family to take care of. What I want to get into is what we're going to do about you. So here's my questions for you, D. If something were to go down like right now, and I'm diverting this because I usually go back to one thing, but I'm going to ask this first. If something were to go down, do you have a friend, a legit friend who you could call? This stuff happened. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm like embarrassed. This was the dumbest thing that happened. I don't know what's up. Do you have a friend right now who's not Emily, not family, who you could call, who would listen to you, would call you on your shit if necessary, but would be supportive of you no matter what? Do you have that kind of guy in your life now? You have two. You have two.
Two legit brothers. Okay. Not friends. These are my brothers. Varsha Douglas and Sin Alexander are my brothers. We call each other. We love each other. We call each other out on bullshit. And we make sure each other's okay. Now, mind you, one lives in Harrisburg, PA. One lives in above Union City, Jersey, I think. Somewhere near Union City, Jersey. But we still make sure each other's okay. When I moved to quick story, when I moved to Oregon, I Senate told me, listen, if a movie here was $17 in a book bag. That's all I had. And Senate told me, like, listen, and I told him what I was doing too. I said, listen, if you need to come back, I got you. You can come back. And I almost did too, because like I said, quick story, I literally, when I came out here, my phone cut off. Literally, like I flew into Portland. It was 12 o'clock and cut me off. So I needed to get to the bus station, which was about, I walked, and it was a 4-hour walk. It's a 4-hour walk. And I almost literally called Senate, like, listen, or try to call Senate, like, listen, it's time for me to get the fuck out of here. It's not going to happen. Luckily, I know Senate, I know Varsha. They were told me to keep going, and I did. I kept going. That influence of them knowing that they were to keep going. And I went to the bus station. I got on that bus. I took a 3-hour ride to Seaside because it didn't go through the mountains, went around the mountains. And my sister paid for my phone bill that day. And I told them, like, listen, I just kept going. And they're proud of me. And I'm proud of both of them as well. One is a assistant principal at a middle school. Another one is a lawyer. And we listen. Those two brothers right there, I can count on. Period. They have not done anything that told me that I can't count at all. And they will call me out on bullshit. They have called me on bullshit plenty of times. I've called both of them out on bullshit plenty of times. And they are my brothers. Period. Point blank, period. My brothers help me out.
That's what's up. That's good. The last letter in the word prize, the middle letter is I. And I doesn't represent anyone. It doesn't represent a word. It always represents the man that I'm talking to. So, taking away the title of boyfriend, employee, father, poker player, podcaster, all these things that we do, all these things that kind of put on us, the armor that we kind of deal with, that we kind of live with. When you take all that stuff off, and it's just you, D, just you, dark and night to your core, who exactly are you?
Diandre Robinson, God is truth, don't know who Diandre Robinson is. And I say that honestly because, and that's why I feel I make who I am every day. I can change tomorrow. I can definitely change for my mindset. When your mindset can change because you learn new things every single day. People don't realize that we learn something every single day. I don't know who I am, and I don't say it's a negative thing. I say it's a positive because every day is a clean slate. Everything's clean slate. I can be Diandre I talk about in this podcast with Emily, the kids, period. Tomorrow it can go badly and I can say fuck Emily and go somewhere else. But tomorrow can go well too, and I can say, Emily, marry me. It's a clean slate every single day. And that's how I like it. That's my mindset. Diandre Robinson don't know who Diandre Robinson is. And I hate talking third person, but it just sounds good. Diandre Robinson don't know who Diandre Robinson is. And he's okay with that because he can evolve. And he can evolve and he can evolve. And he can, from being and I'm going nerd right now, from being a Charmander when he was younger to being a Charizard right now, he can evolve.
Okay. I like that. Every time I ask that question, I get a different answer, and every answer is right for the person. So how you see yourself, you are a different person every day. Every day you're a little bit different, a little bit better every time. And the recognition that things could go bad, that things can go awry, but they don't have to. They can, but it doesn't mean they will. And that's important that we recognize. And it's actually something, it's a good thing, especially when you're a parent. There's nothing better than recognizing that you're fallible, that you're gonna mess up, that you're gonna make mistakes. And the best thing you can do as a parent is show your kids that you are imperfect, because they can see it. If my mom or my dad isn't perfect, it's okay for me to have issues too. You build confidence, you just build stronger kids, especially your daughters, when they can see that their dad isn't the best, but he's trying, he's a good person, so they know what to expect when they go out into the world, and they know what to look for when they find a man or whoever they're going to be with. So I applaud you on that answer. I got two more questions for you. What are you afraid of that you cannot control?
My two greatest fears in life, period. One is clowns. I mean, blame it for that one. Blame it for that. Blame it for that. I hate clowns with passion. Two, not living up to my potential. I've been told that I have great potential since I was high. And the reason why that scares me, because I don't know what the ceiling is. The ceiling, I don't know what the ceiling for my potential is. Everyone tells me, until this day, you have such great potential. when do that stop? So, because I want to hit that potential, and again, I am overly competitive.
Okay.
That is 100% true. I want to be better than whatever I do. I want to be better.
Okay.
So, having high potential, how do I know I hit that potential? Because every single year it gets higher and higher.
Mhm.
So that's a fear of mine, because I don't know if I will or can hit the potential that I have. Now, if my potential is unlimited, then I wouldn't want to know that either, though. If my potential is unlimited, because then I'll just stop caring. But but not living up to my potential scares me.
Okay.
That's a big fear of mine.
Mhm. So the question is, why do you need to hit your potential? You wake up every day and you're a different guy. You're not the same DeAndre every day. So why wouldn't your potential be different every day? Are you fearful of hitting it, or are you fearful of what happens when you hit it? Are you like, oh wow, look at this, I'm the best poker player in the world. I'm helping all these people who so know their rights so they can have a place. You are a good person, and not only does your family know it, but the world knows it, and most importantly, you know it. What happens when you're successful financially, emotionally, in every way? What happens when you are this fully formed great person? What are you afraid of?
The cliff. You're 100% right. The cliff. The cliff. And if you listen to any sports talk radio, especially Max tells Max Element Kellerman. Sorry, he put Tom Brady on cliffs for the last 6 years. He's gonna fall. He's gonna fall off this cliff because he's been great for this long, and they decline after I get everything I want. If I hit my potential, everything I need to hit my potential, I'm afraid of. I don't like the feeling that I can't do something that I used to do. When again I took tearing my knee in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I was second team all conference. I had offers from almost all D2 schools, D2 schools
Cool.
in the PA area,
Right.
and around as well. Bigger school like Penn State, because my friend Abe, who actually tore my knee, was a recruit going to Penn State and helping me try to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But after I tore my knee and I couldn't do the same thing that I used to, the decline after my knee was horrible for me. It went from not going to a D2, D1 school to going to a D3 college playing ball with no scholarship, playing basketball with no scholarship. And other things too, but I'm afraid of the decline. I'm not afraid of decline. I just don't want to decline. I'm not afraid of decline. I don't want to decline. And that's the problem with the potential, is that when I hit that potential, the decline after the potential kind of, it's not really fear. It's just I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it.
I hear you. Let me ask you a question. Are you a better father now than you were 3 months ago?
I am. That's a hard question to answer, actually. I know more. I know how to change bottles and diapers better.
Right.
I know that when she pulled my beard and my hair now. I looked at them yesterday. I know how to make her laugh. So physically, I guess mentally, yes. But emotionally, It's mostly yes too. Actually, I love her more than I do now too. So yeah, I am a better father than I was 3 to 6 months ago.
You're going to be a better father in 3 years?
I hope so. I can't say yay. No. Well,
Yes, you
there's
can.
no. There's no no. So you probably yes. I probably will be a better father in 3 years.
Exactly. Do you think you're gonna? Do you think you're gonna be? You think you're gonna become a worse father later on?
No, I think I'm becoming worse. I know you're going with this. I know you're going with this. However, though you said I and on me,
Right.
I personally, if it's just me, I know for a fact I'm gonna be the best father I can be for Sasha and Ricky.
Right.
Period. I know that for a fact. I'm talking about for me personally.
Mhm.
If we're talking about
Right.
the potential and the cliff off of me personally, and I meaning the things I do with poker and my podcast and work and stuff like that.
Right.
I don't want to fall off that cliff.
I hear
But
you.
my daughter, she will know that I am the best father that I can be.
I just want you to hear that you're going to do something in your life where you're not going to just stop being good at it. So you being a father, a good one now, a great one later, a present one now, and even more present one later, you will do things in your life where you don't fall off a cliff. You may move, you may go to a different cliff. A parent now, as opposed to a parent of a teenage girl, is a whole different affair. And you're going to deal with different situations, but you don't have to fall off the cliff. You just go to a different one. And you just do your best. I understand what you're saying, and we're all fearful of success, of failure, and whatever. If you try to not consider the cliff as the bad thing, as opposed to just kind of just being whatever you're going to be and not being worse, but being different, that's just something to consider. So that's just something I wanted to kind of throw at you. And go ahead.
I want to try to focus on one thing.
Right.
I don't think the cliff is a bad thing. Me personally, I don't think the cliff is a bad thing. I think the aftermath of the cliff is a bad thing. If now I could be wrong, and the cliff could be great. My golden years could be the best years of my life.
Possible. Yeah.
But when you driving a car up a cliff and up this big ass hill, you can't see the bottom.
Right.
Or when you're on the cliff, like I'm a big fan of amusement parks. Roller coasters are fun for me.
Right.
My favorite roller coasters in Jersey. You say you're from Jersey, I think you said. Six Flags, Kingda Kai. One of my favorite. It's about one of my favorite roller coasters of all time. If you can get in the front of that, it's fucking amazing. However, though, the part of Kingda Kai is the big plunge,
Yeah.
the big drop.
You get up and then bang, yeah, just fall. Mm-hmm.
If you're in the front, you rise up in that cliff, and it's slow. It's slow too. It is slow. It is slow. You mean your heart race,
Mm-hmm.
but then you make up that cliff, and then on the cliff, on the top of the peak of that hill, I forgot what's called, but the mountain, you can see everything, and it's beautiful. It's actually beautiful. It's actually beautiful. But then, when you're in the front, you start to go down, and you don't fall down fast because you got to wait for everything to catch up.
Okay.
And then you drop. So that part right there could be scary. But I also know that when I drop, I'm also safe. And I'm talking about from the Kingda Kai, if we're comparing it. I also know when I drop, I've done Kingda Kai plenty of times in the front. I'd be damned if I do that the roller coaster I'll be in the front. When I've dropped them, it is fast, but when I'm down there, it is safe. And I know for a fact that I conquered that right there. So I watch. That's why I want to make sure that everybody hears that.
That's good. That's interesting. That's a really good way of looking at life. I like that. And it just has a different, yeah, with you explaining it, I have a different view of what you meant by that. Last question. A lot of men, one, we're not really talkative about just ourselves in general. We don't tell people what's going on at all. We're very quiet. We kind of hold it all in. And that's what toxicity, that man, that toxic man thing comes from, because instead of expressing our feelings, we just hold it in. And then at some point it just explodes. It just all comes out. So being able to talk to men or anybody in general is a good thing. So the fact that you have people that you could talk to, it's great. I have a question about you and in terms of how you feel safe, not physically, but more emotionally. Aside from your girlfriend, is there anybody who has truly loved you 100%? Parents aside, girlfriend aside, I mean somebody who knows everything. For somebody who you can say loves you entirely with all the shit that you've done, the good, the bad. They know the skeletons in the closet. They know where the bodies are buried. They know the code to the safe, like Biggie would say. They know it all. Is there somebody who's loved you 100% entirely? And if so, do you know what that feels like?
And I can't count any parents, Emily, or the two I talk about.
Right, because that's typically that's your parents should automatically be that.
Yeah.
And then your significant other should be that. So I wonder if there's anyone else.
So can I count the two I talk about?
Sure, of course.
So I love Wash to death, but me and Sin is my best friend.
Right.
My brother. Sin knows everything about me. Literally everything about me. And we laugh about a lot of shit that I've done. We laugh about a lot of shit that he's done. We have stories. For lack of better words, we make sure we see each other once a year, the three of us. And that weekend's called Don't Sit on Your High Horse and Judge Me Weekend.
Okay.
All right. And Senate knows every single thing about me. Every single thing I've told him about. And normally it's everything. He knows the bones in the closet.
Right.
He knows the skeletons and where they should be buried. Senate knows everything. I know everything about Senate. Everything he tells me anyway.
Right.
Because that question you asked me is kind of hard because we never, even in therapy, we never tell everything. And I actually go to therapy. Right. Even in therapy, we never tell everything. We tell what, and that particular time, what we need help with. Never tell every single thing. And I'm open book with Senate. I'm open book with anybody. Really, and they ask me a question. I always tell people, you ask me a question, not get mad at the answer. Do not get mad at answers because I'm going to tell you. And Senate knows this, so I don't have to tell it to Senate. But I don't know if I told Senate everything, or if he remembers everything I told him. I just know that if I have to put something out there, Senate will know. Senate definitely will, and not judge me too harshly. He'll call me an asshole if I did something stupid or you a dumbass or something like that. But
right,
that's how we talk to each other.
Okay.
So the person that fits that question, not to a T, but fits that question, will be Sid Alexander, which is my best friend.
Okay. And that's good that you have somebody that you think of that way. And by extension, it's just as important to be that for somebody else, especially for us men. To have that person and to be the persons are really important. That's how we keep our relationships going. That's how we keep our sanity. We got to be able to be comfortable and to have somebody to talk to and just talk to shit with. is an incredibly important thing. Thank you for answering the questions in the P.R.I.Z.E mantra. Thank you for answering those questions that I threw out to the side. I hope, if anything else, this is just thought-provoking. I want, after this conversation, that you just think about yourself. Think about who you are tomorrow when you wake up, and who you're going to be next week, and what your daughter is going to see in a few months or in a few years. But most importantly, thank you for talking with me. And where can listeners/watchers find Diandre Robinson?
So you can find Diandre Robinson podcast-wise. Mass Debaters as a comedic debate podcast where we debate the most likely of topics. Harvey was on one time with his other podcast talking about wrestling. I give you open invite to come out and talk about your own topic you want to. Okay. We are live every Thursday at 7:00. I also have Mass Debaters Presents The 3 Count, which is a wrestling podcast where we're live every Sunday at 2 p.m. PT. Like I said as well, 2 p.m. PT, or after any pay-per-view, because we do our ranking show after any pay-per-view. And then we have Match Present Brackets, which might die down a little bit. I'm not 100% sure, but if you follow us on Twitter, which is Debaters _Mass, we do these brackets where we pick 2 things together and 104 things from together matchups, and so we get to the finals. We're doing the best comedy movie right now, which is pissing me off because anyway, best comedy movie right now.
Don't even sweat it, bro.
The best comedy movie right now, and you can find me at Diandre Robinson on Facebook.
All right. All that information will be in the episode notes. D, thank you for giving me some time and talking with me and kind of opening up. I appreciate that. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but it's always good to open up. And I'm getting close to 30 episodes. You might actually be the 30th. I'm not sure. But
hey.
Every time I do one of these, I feel like I make a friend. We cool already because we've done the podcast, but I feel like because I'm talking and we just kind of open up and just know that you clearly have a friend with me for anything. You know where to hit me up. You know where to contact me if you want to talk about anything. But I know I can see the ascension for you as a man, as a father, as a significant other. You're going to do great things. So I applaud you on the man that you are and the man that you will become as time progresses. How do I end this? So, to every man out there who listens, who watches, it's a reminder that your importance in this world is obvious. Your children, your significant other, your family needs you. Whether it's for financial, anything. But let's not forget that what we provide emotionally is just as important. So when you're that dad who's there to hug your daughter just because, or importantly, to hug your son just because, that emotional connection is incredibly important. Always remember your presence is more important than the presence that you give. Never forget how important you are being in the house, being there for the people around you, but always be there for yourself too. Sometimes we just got to step away and take care of ourselves. Never forget that. Never forget that you are a man and that you are the prize. Have a good one. I'll see you next week.